We're going to be walking through a couple of interesting concepts that I've seen for the Warrock, so make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss out on this. So we've been very harsh on the Warrocks so far, but that doesn't mean that players aren't looking for ways to explore this. I'm already seeing Goki buyouts in this department, but that's a story for another day. So with that being said though, what is going on with the little Warrock family? So very critically, the Warrocks are going to be your warrior standard subclass of cards. These great cards have one good extender and one good field spell. So this was something I recently saw on Dueling Book, one of the earlier versions of a build for his list. And then I also have Akano's UA Warrock list. I know, right? Interesting concepts all the way around here. So we have one copy of the Pankratops machine for this one. Now remember, this build is going to be more of your warrior toolbox, and you know what makes warriors really good? A very good Isolde, because it's Isolde. Alright, so we have one Pankratops, the triple copies of Ash Blossom and Going Second, two copies of Drone Lockbird. Punish those Drytron players so you can capitalize and build boards. Alright, that's going to be the whole premise of your deck. Interesting enough, we're playing the triple copies of Goblinberg. I'm not quite sure how I feel about this overall interaction. I think this is kind of like probably the best Earth Warrior. Getting that extension is pretty cool, but interesting take on things here. We're also playing the two copies of the TG Striker, just so that we can extend out with this. Remember, if only your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. Just Earth Warrior extender. I know a few other players might have better options in this, but this was a beginning intro. We also have the one Bashalios. So during a battle phase in which your Earth Warrior monster battles, quick effect, you can activate this effect. This card can attack directly this turn. Also, all of your Warrock monsters you control will currently gain 200 attack till the end of your opponent's turn. And while this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can, if your Earth Warrior monster is destroyed by battle, you can special summon this card but banish it when it leaves the field. So technically it does float back when something dies, but that's fine. We have the one copy of Orpus. If you control no monsters, or all monsters you control are warrior monster, you get to normal summon this without your tributing. If your Earth Warrior monster battles, after damage calculation, you can send an Earth Warrior monster from your deck to the graveyard. And then, since you get the Foolish Barrel Dump here, you're going to get to give all of your Warrocks a 200 buff. Alright, and just keep in mind it's only your Warrocks that are going to get that buff, which is kind of whatever. Then we have triple copies of Fortia. If your Earth Warrior battles after damage calculation, you get to add a Warrock card from your deck to your hand, so this can search for the field spell. Alright, and then all Warrock monsters you currently control will gain 200 attack until the end of the opponent's turn. If this card is sent from the monster zone to the graveyard by an opponent's card effect, you can special summon a level 5 or higher Warrock monster from your hand or deck. So technically you have access to Orpus and Bashalios this way. And then this is going to be our extender. So if an Earth Warrior monster is normal summoned to your field, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is sent from the monster zone to the graveyard by an opponent's card effect, you can special summon one level 5 or higher Warrock monster from the hand or deck. So this is also going to, if your opponent outs this, in some degree you'll be able to extend on into Bashalios here. Then we have triple copies of Droplet, triple copies of Lightning Storm, generic cards that will be able to disrupt the opponent's field and punish them for building. One Phoenix Blade, the one Different Dimension Reincarnation, one Living Fossil, one Overdone Barrel with the one Mystic Mine. I know you're probably looking at this and you're like, really? Mystic Mine in this? Yeah, you do need that Forerunner back play in case crap starts going wrong for you. It's kind of like the value you get when you play decks like this. Stuff like this is going to be your saving line. Alright, we also have two copies of Pot of Disparity. I do think that this card is going to be a fantastic addition to your strategy here. Coming out in the same set here, you'll be able to get that Banish 3 or 6 and then Excavate for whatever combo piece that you're going to need. Of course, we have Rhoda with the one set rotation, the one terraforming. Then we have triple copies of the Warrock Mountain. On activation, you get to add a Warrock card, or Warrock monster, from deck to your hand, so you can technically get to the extender, or whatever other starter that you might particularly want in that situation. And then during the battle phase, you get to extend out, and then this has the self-replacement effect if your opponent manages to start popping your stuff. And then we got Warrock Ordeal. So you can only control one Ordeal, all right? When this card is activated, you get 3 counters on it. When your Warrock monster destroys opponent's monster by battle, you remove a counter from this card to draw 1 card. If the last counter is removed by this effect, it goes to the graveyard. But you got a draw 3 here. If you get 3 Warrocks on the field, you kill 3 things by battle, you get a draw 3. Alright, granted that's not amazing, but it's a level of support for this deck. Alright, extra deck here we have 1 Lambda, Unicorn Phoenix, 2 Isolde, 1 IP with the 1 Ferocious, 1 Black Luster Soldier, number 41, Excalibur and Dweller, 1 copy of the Wind Pegasus, 1 Omega, 1 copy of Goyo Predator, and 1 Goyo Guardian. You can actually make this in here, by the way, because, you know, Earth, yeah. It's cool. Then we have triple copies of Ghost Bell, triple copies of Nibiru, triple copies of Gamma, 1 Driver, triple copies of Cosmic Cyclone, 1 Feather Duster, and 1 copy of Red Reboot, wrapping up this first Warrock list for everybody. Now, second Warlock list here that we have is actually from Akino. This is something he's been messing around with. One cool thing that you actually have access to in this deck is the OTK. Now, technically, with all the Warrocks being said, still, you know, you normal summon this, extend into this, you do automatically have access to double or nothing to start punishing the opponent. Also, the cool thing with this is reinforcement of the army's troops. So when an attack is declared involving a warrior monster, you can special summon a level 4 or lower warrior monster from your hand. Technically, that's going to let us play our little guys here. So you'll be able to deploy a midfielder here. Alright, now all of these cool little UA guys, you special summon this card from your hand by returning UA you control to the hand. So basically this is going to put your starter onto the field and then let you start playing the game through whichever one of your bigger guys that you see fit. It's actually a really cute little interaction. It's not amazing, but it is something really cool that you actually get with this card. Initially, I did think this card had like 0 playability, but in the one situation where you can extend out like a midfielder or something and then be able to bounce back the midfielder here and start combo with your bigger UAs, that's cute. Alright, so we have the 1 copy of the Dreadnought Dunka, 2 copies of the Libero Spiker, 2 copies of UA Midfielder, triple copies of the UA Mighty Slugger, 2 copies of the UA Player Manager, 2 copies of Warrock Fortia, 2 copies of Gakdos, 1 copy of Orpus, and then 2 copies of Skylar. So this thing gains 100 attack for each monster your opponent controls. So 3 monsters at 2,500. Alright, during a battle phase in which your Earth monster in battles, quick effect, you can target 1 level 5 or lower monster in your graveyard. That's Warrior. Splash summon it. Also, all of your Warrocks are going to get a 200 buff till the end of your opponent's turn. And then for the rest of this turn, you cannot attack directly with level 5 or lower monsters. So the cool little thing is you try to use the big boss monster attack directly, but we're not trying to abuse the big boss monster here. We have the 1 double or nothing, triple copies of Forbidden Droplet, 1 copy of Monster Reborn, 2 copies of Pot of Disparity, triple copies of Pot of Extravagance, the 1 Rhoda, 2 copies of the Reinforcement of the Army's Troops, 1 Set Rotation, 1 Terraforming, triple copies of the Hyper Stadium, 1 Power Jersey, 2 copies of UA Signing Deal, 1 UA Stadium, triple copies of Warrock Mountain, and triple copies of the Penalty Box. Extra deck here we have 1 Tornado Dragon, 2 Utopia Prime, 1 copy of Baguski, triple Utopia Double and triple Utopia, 1 copy of Gaga Cowboy, 2 Zeus, 2 copies of Abyss Dweller. Side deck here we have some more basic stuff. 1 Scythe, 2 Bell, 2 Skullmeister, 1 copy of the UA Blockbacker, 2 copies of Perfect Ace, 1 Feather Duster, 2 Lightning Storm, triple copies of Artifact Sanctum, and 1 copy of Red Reboot, wrapping up a really interesting concept when all things are considered here. Warrocks, initially, it's all got to do with this extender. Like I said, I know things are happening to Goki cards right now, which are kind of shifting the metagame in a rather interesting way. So what do you guys think about actually exploring the Warrocks for some cool new strategies? Please leave a comment down below. Make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out on more excellent content. And I'll see your beautiful faces back here later on in the week. Peace out, guys. Thank you, patrons, for making the ride never truly end. Without you guys' support, well, I would probably be doing Truffle Shuffle videos for a living. Guys, please check out VanCool40 for all of your Cardfight Vanguard content brought to you by MCool40. And if you are looking to pick up singles, check out mcoolgames.com for your trading card game needs. Thanks for watching, everybody.